Did you say um
Oh, we can just
it's
translate 言いましたよね。
oh sorry.
Huh? Just going from the back.
Is that what you said?
That what you said?
Is what you said. If you just want to say 言いました。
Or did you say?
Is
Yeah.
that what you said?
Did you say?
Did you say? What about your
Mm.
name? And add your name.
Right.
言いましたよね.
Yeah. Yeah, so what is it in English? 言いましたよね.
Didn't you say?
Where did you get did and did not didn't? What's the tense? 言いました.
Past tense.
Yeah.
Past tense.
Mhm.
And affirmative, not negative. So 言いましたよね would be.
You
Is
said
that
right.
right?
Yeah, you said it, right? Good.
Mhm.
Now go back up. One more. What was it in front of it? 言いました.
見つけなかったっていう。
そうです。見つけなかったって。
で、
Yeah, what's the te?
yeah. Te is quoting te.
Okay, quoting te. Yes. ね、見つけなかった
That's what I said. 見つけなかっ
You're right, but that's what Patrick said. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, 見つけなかったって言いましたよね。What does that mean?
Did you say you said it's 見つけなかった, right?
Excellent. Good. You said, did you say 見つけなかった right?
Mhm.
And the words before that was, Patrick さんは今。
Did you just say yeah?
Did you
Patrick
just
just
say,
I know.
yeah. Patrick, you just said 見つけなかった right? And what was excellent about what Patrick just did? Did you guys notice? He didn't translate the word 見つけなかった.
Mm.
If you translate that, then you'll be in trouble, kind of. Yeah. Because you just said 見つけなかった.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, happens often, right? Yeah. So it's just a reminder. So Patrick, you just said 見つけなかった, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where I was starting out. So when Patrick said 見つけなかった, what does that mean when Patrick said 見つけなかった?
Hopefully it didn't find.
Who?
I was talking to you, so you, but maybe I didn't specify.
Well, no, but when we say 見つけなかった, just that's all you. That's when that's all it's all you say. What does that mean?
Maybe I
Means
couldn't
I didn't.
find.
You couldn't
didn't.
find it, or you didn't find it.
Didn't
Exactly. So, but Patrick probably didn't mean to say he didn't find it.
Mm-mm.
Right. Instead, I was saying something, and then Patrick said, 見つけなかった? But what did you mean to say?
I meant to say you couldn't find it.
You couldn't find it? Now that sounds like a question rather than a statement.
Ah. Mm-mm.
Is that
Maybe
did you
I-
mean to ask me
Of
a
course.
question?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
of course. Okay, good.
If I changed the intonation at the end, like the way I said it, would that have been
見つけ
okay?
なかった?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can always rewind, go back
Okay.
and watch it again. But it sounded like you were listening to what I was saying, and then you wanted to clarify, almost like, did you mean you couldn't find it?
Yeah.
That's what that was, right?
Mm.
If that's what you want to say, did you not find it? Might not be enough. Because you kind of wanted to clarify some confusion. You didn't
Yeah.
find it? Or, do you mean you didn't find it?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, do you guys remember how to clarify that? Do you mean you
見つ
didn't
けな
find it?
かったっていう意味ですか?
Yeah. 見つけなかったっていう意味ですか？アロンさん、do you remember this one?
I remember us going over it.
Yeah.
Oh.
見つけなかったっていうこと is better in this case.
はいはいはい。
ああ、ことで
Yeah.
すか。
Yeah. 見つけなかったっていうことですか？
うん。
Now, when we start to clarify these things, it's a little bit hard because we have to say a lot more words. And then we have to go back to what the other person just said and repeat it,
うん。
right? So that's what I was starting to do earlier. And in order to clarify what Patrick said, what I was just saying was, 今、見つけなかったって言いましたよね。Patrick, you just said you just said 見つけなかった, right? And it's important to say that first.
うん。
Yeah. Because if Patrick doesn't understand what I just said, like, hey, Patrick, you just said 見つけなかった, right? We can't really start. We can't really move forward from there. And then I can say, did you mean to say? Did you mean to ask? So that's what I was, that was the direction that I was going into. Yeah.
うん。
Yeah. So I want you guys to remember this because you guys are starting to become a little bit, little by little, more conversational. Yeah. So with your storytelling and podcast and whatnot, yeah, you say more words now without error or English fillers. So
て言いましたよね。
mhm.
っていうことですか? Those were the two
Those were the two
phrases.
that we just went over. Yeah, in the clarification too. So maybe I can share the screen now. So this is a clarification. And I just っていうことですか? This is what I did.
うん。
And the variation is this. って言いましたよね. Did you say? In this case, because I added よね, right? Confirming. You said it, right?
うん。
見つけなかったって言いましたよね as opposed to 言いましたか. Yeah. And if you ever get confused, 言いましたかって言いましたか and っていうことですか You see, って言いましたか is said. So that's why the kanji is there. って言い I'm saying that because sometimes people get these confused, mixed up. っていう、って言いましたか? So those are two different things.
うん。
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So now what I want to do today is something from here. Okay, now so earlier, what I was saying, what we were talking about was Patrick's new music, which is on Spotify, iTunes, and so forth, right? And
いいで
what
す
I
ね。
いいですね。
What is this name?
すごいですね。素晴らしい。And what I was saying was 聞いてみます。Everyone 聞いてみます。
聞いてみます。
What does that mean? Does
Try
that sound
listening.
familiar? Yeah, I'll give it a
Try to
shot. I'll listen to it. I'll give it
I'll
a
give it a
listen.
shot. I'll give it a listen.
Yeah,
うん。
not so much I'll try listening to it. It's not really that. But and try and see is not that great of a
うん。
translation in this case. Because you know, listening to music, someone's tune, especially Patrick's, you know, I don't have to try so hard. You know what I mean?
Unless you're in a loud room.
I'd be happy to listen to it. You know what I mean? So, but you see, the idea behind Temiru is like, do something to see what it's like out of curiosity.
うん
Yeah. Sam, can you move the microphone up just a little bit, just here, away from
Hearing
the
me breathe.
nose? Yeah. So it might bug you later when you watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 聞いてみます.
うんうん
What I first said was, oh, I want to listen to it. I want to try listening to it, right? Do you guys remember what I said? Well, maybe Patrick only.
聞いてみたい
What's the form?
うん。
What's the verb, everyone? Dictionary
Kiru.
form.
いる
Kiru.
To where?
聞く。
Kiru.
聞く。
Kiru.
Good. Yeah, 聞く. Good. Okay. Which class is this?
Class
Class
one.
one.
Class one. If it ends with a ku, not ru, it's automatically it's class one, right? Okay. Ku, class one, the T form.
聞いて。
Pam-san, how many more are there?
3.
Excellent. 聞いて.
うん聞いて。
聞いて. Yes. Okay. Now, back to Patrickson. What I said was, I want to give it a listen.
聞いてみたい
聞いてみたいです.
見たい or 見たい
見たい.
はい。
Because I was adding want to.
うん。
So 聞いてみる, conjugate the 見る with たい.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I said.
うんうんうん。
聞いてみたいです. So, yeah, we use this a lot.
I definitely confused it a little bit because I thought you said you wanted to but couldn't.
Gotcha.
Like because then that's why I thought you couldn't find it.
I see.
And you asked
Yeah.
where it was. I was a little bit off, but not bad.
Cool. Okay, cool.
So what's a good English translation?
I want to listen to it.
You want to listen to it?
Yeah. But in this case, I want to listen to it, meaning
I'm going to listen to it.
I've never listened to it. This is going to be my first time. So that's why I don't know what it's going to be like. It's not like, listening. I want to listen to my Johnny Mitchell album that I've listened to hundreds of times. I know what it sounds like. That's not, the same. I want to listen to this music, new music that I've never heard before. So that's why I want to listen and see what it's like. That's why I said 聞いてみたいです as opposed to 聞きたいです
Mm.
right? Even though the English translation is the same.
And the other
So
translation, Kimititis.
Ora-san, could you say it again, please?
You said the original one, the other one was Kimititis.
No.
For like to listen to some that's
No. Let's review that. In front of te miru. Sorry, I just said it. In front of the miru, it's verb te form here, right? Do you see that it's highlighted here?
Mhm.
So first, make the correct te form, though, which is
Ite.
聞いて. Yes, 聞いてみる. 聞いてみます. Now, turn that into the 1-2 form.
Okay. Kite mitaides.
Exactly, 聞いてみたいです. And earlier, I think it was Patrick who asked me, like, 聞いてみたいです or みたいです. It is on the top. Yeah, because it is the 1-2 form.
Right. Mitai is like, seems like, right?
Seems like, yeah. And the みたい is actually not adjective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But 見たい is an e adjective. So 聞いてみた is the e adjective stem. So that's why it needs to be stressed on the ta, which is the last letter. This is, you can see that pattern in chapter 14, the first page of chapter 14. You see all the ta stressed. For that, for 1-2, regardless of the conjugation, the ta always gets the stress. So, 聞いてみたいです. If I don't want to give it a listen, 聞いてみたく. Oh, I just changed it. 聞いて. Yeah, but it's because it's a different, I guess. When you add the verb to form plus miru, maybe it changes a little bit. Yeah. But
So
if it's, go ahead.
Oh, the mi and miru and mitai, is that the same mi?
To see, to watch and look? No, it's not.
No. In the te miru and te mitai, is that the same mi?
Yes. Yeah. So in other words, 聞いてみます. I'll give it a listen. 聞いてみたいです. I want to give it a listen. Yeah, that's why it's the same. The me is the same. However, if I want to say, let's see. Okay. I want to see Aaron's trains.
Aron-san no densha o mitai desu.
Okay. アロンさんの電車を見たいです. Right? What's the verb? What's the action? Want to see.
Mitai.
Yeah, want to look at it, right? So what's the verb in the dictionary form?
見る。
見る. Exactly. So it has a kanji, right? To see. Okay. Now how about this? Have any of you seen Aaron's train before? No, none of us, right? Okay. Now, in this case, if you want to say you want to see Aaron's trains, how would you say it?
アラさんの train.
Train. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. 電車
電車です。
エレンさんの電車を、見、来てみたい。来てみたい。
You want to listen to Aaron's
Oh,
trains?
sorry, see.
Steam
Yeah.
trains?
They're not sound equipped.
Not yet.
Oh, I'm not doing that with these. And way too expensive.
Yeah,
見てみたい。
見てみたい, right?
はい。はい。
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, 見てみたい, you might think it sounds kind of funny, but those two me are different. 見て and 見たい. Which one is the one with kanji to see?
The first one.
The first one, exactly. Because the first one, 見て with the verb stem, with the verb is the actual verb. The 見る after the て is not the verb. It is technically a verb, but
It's
not
never
to
using
see.
kanji to see.
I don't know. Today we don't use it.
Okay.
In the ancient times, possible.
Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows? Exactly.
This is good because we're using both together.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't make it seem strange now.
Yeah. So if you see this sentence here,
はい。
新しいジブリの映画が見てみたいな。You see? 見てみたい here. 見てみたい. I want to see. The first one is kanji. 見て here. And then 見たい. This 見たい is want to give it a shot. I want to see what it's like. Curiosity. Yeah.
But it can imply, you can apply that to any verb te form, right? Te form.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it is interesting, but when you say like I want to see what it's like, then it makes sense to me to see what it's like.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like I want the experience of seeing.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Then what I wanted to do today is this page. So similar expressions with yoni. Yeah.
Yoni.
Yeah, yoni. And yo is a noun. And also it works as an adjective too. And but if we look at it as a noun, it's a little bit easier right now. So yo is what it means is a state or appearance or way condition. And when you add a particle ni to it, it becomes like in. So in the state or in appearance in a certain way. And in order to or so that. So have a plain verb form in front of the yoni, and then that becomes an adverb. And then you can describe the second verb. So do something in order to do something, or do something in a certain way. And so you can do that with a potential form in front of yoni also, and negative nai form in front of yoni. And you can do the adjective version too. E adjective, yoni, na adjective plus na yoni also. So what I want to ask you now is this. If you just want to say you always do your homework after class, what would it be? You always do your homework after class.
いつもクラス前、あと 宿題を、
Do. You do it.
します。
Good. Okay. クラス, by the way, is a noun. あと is a noun too. So クラスあと doesn't work.
クラス、
Two nouns.
クラスの後、
Yes. クラスのあと。
うん。
Okay, everyone. いつも
いつも
いつもクラスの、
クラ
クラス後、クラスの後、
そうクラスの後宿題をします。
宿題
Good. 宿題をします。What's the dictionary form or plain form?
する。
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 いつもクラスの後、宿題をする。どうぞ。
いつも
いつも
クラスの
クラ
後
スの
その
あ
後、
と
あの
宿題をする。
宿題をする。
宿題をする。Yep, good. All right, now how about this? I always try to do my homework after class.
いつもクラスの後の宿題を、
クラスの後の宿題 Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
のしてみる。
してみる。You want to give it a, yeah, you give it a shot.
Oh, no, that's not it.
Anyone else?
しよう、しようとする。
しようとする。
しようとする。パトリックさん。
always.
I always try to do my homework after class.
Try to do.
Okay, so if you say いつもクラスの後宿題をしようとする and しようとする means I don't know,
Means I tried and I
didn't or する is what we were saying, right?
Yeah, しようのする。じゃあ、しようとする。
しようとする。
しようとする。
Uh-huh.
To try and, without success, so to try it. That's like saying I tried it, but I didn't.
Look at the sentence here. I always try to do my homework after class. Did we say I always tried? Like, are we talking about past pattern?
No. いつもクラスの後、宿題をしようとする。
What's the tense? That's the question.
Present.
What is it?
Present tense.
Present tense, exactly. Yeah. So that's not the past.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not that, we tried and failed and once. Yeah. The key word here is I always. So this is a recurrent pattern. So いつもクラスの後宿題をしようとする means that you always try but you never succeed. Because always fail. So you're just describing the pattern of failure. Doing the same thing, like all the time at the same time. So
苦しいです。
苦しい。苦しいですね。ちょっとね。But I want you to think about this. If sometimes we say this, but I always try to do my homework after class. do we mean I always fail? Is that what I like? If I told you I always try to do my homework after class, am I
would think
telling you
you-
that I always fail?
I would think sometimes you do it.
Sometimes I succeed. Yeah, it's not like I'm telling you my failure pattern that happens every single time,
Mm.
right? It's not like I always do it, at the same time, and then something happens. My
get
neighbor
how
starts knock on the door, or like at the every time, like every day at the same time. It's not what I mean. So,
Okay.
but that's what it means in Japanese. If we say いつもクラスの後宿題をしようとする. It's like I'm about to do it, but then something always happens. So when we say I always try to do my homework after class, doesn't sound like a habit. Like my routine.
Mm.
I always try to do my homework
Routine, yeah.
after class. We have some keywords, always and after class.
そういつもクラスの後、宿題をする、いや、するようにしている。
Exactly. Yeah. So what Aron-san just said was here. In the purple table, make sure to make a habit of doing, try to regularly.
Mm.
So 宿題をする, that's dictionary form right here. And what he added is the second one from the top. 宿題をするようにしている. So present tense and recurrent, make sure to try to make a habit. So here you gotta be careful not to use ようにする. ようにする is will try to do something. 宿題をするようにする would be I've decided to do it from now on. So している if you already have a habit established. So that's what this is. いつもクラスの後、宿題をするようにしている。Okay. Do you guys remember the verb to listen?
聞く。
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 Yes. Okay. Do you guys know what Tom-san does in the car every morning?
She always tries to listen to her Japanese podcast.
Well, she always listens.
True. That's
マムさんはいつも車でポッドキャストを聞くようにしている。
Uh-huh. I'm always listening to Japanese podcasts in the car. It's more like every morning. But Tom listens to Japanese podcasts in the car every morning. So, oops.
毎朝。
そうです。
毎朝。
タムさんは毎朝、
車で。
車で、how do you say Japanese podcast?
日本
今後
語
のポッドキャス
の
ト
ポッドキャスト。
ポッドキャストを聞く。
聞くようにしている。
Yeah. Even you can say 聞く and end it that way too. right? 毎朝車で日本語のキャストを聞く。So, in other words, we can say this same sentence in two different ways in Japanese.
うん。
Yeah. パムさんは毎朝車で日本語のポッドキャストを聞く。It's just like this fact. She just listens to it. 聞くようにしている sounds like she actually actively makes a habit of it. Because she thinks it's good for her. It is good, actually. So she's more conscious. She's creating a more conscious habit. 聞くようにしている。So there is a difference in the nuance.
Uh, 質問があるんですけど。
はい、なんでしょう。
Back to 1B.
はい。
I'm
I have two 1B.
confused about 1C.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
confused about しようとする. No, why is it しようと in
because I haven't fixed it. 宿題をするようにしている。That's,
Oh, it isn't. Okay.
yeah.
ありがとうございます。
はい、ありがとうございます。するようにし。This is correct, right? いつもクラスの後宿題をするようにして。クラスの後宿題をしようする。Okay, yeah.
I'm
So
less
that's it.
confused.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Okay, I want you guys to say this. パムさんは毎朝車で日本語のポッドキャストを聞こうとする。どうぞ。
パムさん
パム
は
さんは
アムさんは毎
毎
朝
朝
車で
車で
日本語のポッドキャス
日本のポッドキャスト
を
聞くように
を
している。
聞くようにしている。
Okay. In case you guys were looking at these sentences, don't. And then let's try again. パムさんは毎朝車で日本語のポッドキャストを聞こうとする。どうぞ。
パムさんは
アムさんは毎朝車で日本語のポッドキャストを聞こうとする。
聞くようとする。
Okay, もう一回。パムさんは毎朝車で日本語のポッドキャストを聞こうとする。どうぞ。
パムさんは
アムさんは毎朝車で日本語のポッドキャストを聞こうとする。
What
does that mean?
She tries, but she didn't get to it.
Can you get the whole sentence?
Pam tries to listen to a Japanese podcast every morning in the car, with the implication that she doesn't get to it, listening to it.
She tries. Listen to Japanese podcast.
She never. She never succeeds.
Never succeeds. Something always gets in the way. How about this? パムさんは車で日本語のポッドキャストを聞いてみた。どうぞ。
さんは
のは、
毎朝車で日本語のポッドキャスト
日
を
本語の
ポッドキャストを
聞いてみた。
聞いてみた。
で見た。
Pretty close. もう一回。パムさんは車で日本語のポッドキャストを聞いてみた。
パムさん
マルさんは
毎
車
で
朝
車で日本語のポッドキャスト
日本語
を
のポッドキャスト
聞いてみた。
聞いてみた。
Okay. Okay. Let's try just one more time. パムさんは車で日本語のポッドキャストを聞いてみた。
マルさんは日本語で
車で
日本語のポッドキャスト
日本語
を
のポッドキャストを
聞いてみた。
で見た。聞いてみた。
聞いてみた。
聞いて
What
み
does that
た。
mean? 聞いてみた。What does that mean?
聞いて
Me and Pam tried listening to a podcast in the car.
For the first time.
For the first time, most likely. Yeah. Try to listen to a Japanese podcast in the car. So this is why Mayasa was not used.
Mm.
Yeah.
Would it just be redundant if you had both? Or would it
毎朝
mess-
車で聞いてみた
Mm,
You can't try for the first time or
Yeah,
Every-
because
every
聞いてみる
day.
is like a try to see what it's like, right?
mhm.
To give it a listen.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah.
maybe a different podcast every day.
Or a new
Maybe
episode.
different Situation, yeah.
New episode.
日本語のポッドキャストを聞いてみる。But what does she listen to? What does she try to listen to?
Podcast.
What kind of what
日本語
podcast?
の
日本語のポッドキャスト Japanese podcast, right? That's what
Doesn't
she
matter which one.
listens to. Exactly. If we are saying different podcast hosts, then she's picked, she picks and chooses, right?
Mhm.
To see what they are like.
Right.
That makes sense.
Mm,
But she listens to Japanese podcast to see what it's like. Well, doesn't really work
mm,
because she knows what it's like. Everyone is all these Japanese podcast hosts are having Japanese podcasts. So
Maybe if you would need more explanation in the sentence if it was
Right.
trying a different one every day.
exactly, yeah. So you need to make it a little bit more elaborate.
mm.
Yeah. So if you want to say mayasa every morning, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, 聞いてみる. That's what it is. 聞いてみる or 聞いてみた? What was the sentence? remember?
パムさんは車で日本語のポッドキャストを聞いてみた。
聞いてみた. That's right. Yeah. In the past. So we have a whole lot of stuff, right? On this page. We don't have to go over every single one of them all at once. Okay, so 聞くようにしている is she has a habit. She has consciously established a habit of listening to a Japanese podcast. So that's 聞くようにしている present tense, recurrent. If you change that to the past tense, it's pretty easy to say used to. She used to have it. She used to have a habit of listening to Japanese podcasts. Yeah. So Pam used to listen to Japanese podcasts in the car every morning. How would that be?
パムさん
さ
は
んは、どうぞ。
毎日日本語のポッドキャストを
Where?
Hmm?
Where?
where? 車で。
Uh-huh.
パムさんは毎日車で日本語のポッドキャストを聞くようにしていた。
していた. Yeah, that's it. That's all you gotta change. And 毎朝 every morning. So used to. She used to listen. Okay. So something really simple, but it's really powerful is that with this make sure to, you can have a dictionary form like we have been doing today. You can have a verb night form, present negative in front of it. So make sure to not do something. So if I said this, what does this mean? パムさんは毎朝車で英語のポッドキャストを聞かないようにしている。どうぞ。
パムさん
パム
は
さんは
毎朝車で日本語のポッドキャスト
英語の
を
ポッドキャストを
聞かないように
聞か
して
ない
る。
よ
いや、
聞かないようにしてい
聞かない
た。
ように
していた。
していた。
している
している。
Okay. That was pretty good though, actually. パムさんは毎朝車で英語のポッドキャストを聞かないようにしている。どうぞ。
パム
パム
さんは
さんは毎朝車で
車で
日本語のポッドキャス
英語の
トを
ポッドキャストを
聞かないようにしている。
聞かないよう
よう
に
に
し
してている。
いる。
Yeah, ようにしている。
うん
Yeah. So, what does she do?
She never listens to English podcast every morning.
Yeah,
Or she doesn't listen to one every morning in the car.
she doesn't.
Yeah.
She makes a point.
Yeah, make sure not to.
She makes sure not to
Oh.
listen to English podcasts.
英語あ
そう、聞かないようにしている。 英語のポッドキャストを聞かないようにしている。So it is a conscious decision to make a habit.
Japanese
So-
only.
Japanese only, yeah. So that's why if we want to say something like, Pam never used to listen to Japanese podcast every morning in the car. What does it mean? What does it sound like to you? She made a point to not listen to it in the car?
No. She just
She didn't. Yeah, because she wasn't working on Japanese. That's what it means, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
never crossed her mind.
That never crossed my mind. Exactly. She tries to not. Is it a Japanese podcast or Japanese podcast? Can you guys tell me?
A Japanese podcast.
Okay, so this is good.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Listen to a Japanese podcast.
Tries
To
not
okay.
to listen or
Tries not to or tries to not. Does that matter?
tries to not listen
Tries
to.
not. Yeah. You know, it's funny. When I was in Japan,
Tries not to listen to. Yeah.
Tries to not listen to sounds like you're consciously picking. You're
Yeah.
consciously you're listening to something, but you're consciously not picking a Japanese podcast.
Like
Whereas-
it's on right now, and you're just covering your ears.
Whereas not trying to listen to means you're like not even turning it on at all. Like that's how I hear it. That's how I perceive it.
Yeah, I can kind of feel that difference too. It's what's funny is that when I learned English in Japan, when I was in junior high, maybe not junior high, but high school, when I learned this, he said that our teacher said it's try not to. But then I came here, and then people are mostly saying more than half the people are saying like try not to. Try to not, like this way.
Yeah, try to not trying to actively avoid something.
Yeah.
Versus not trying as in not putting any effort into it.
Yeah.
うん。
そう、パムさんは毎朝車で英語のポッドキャストを聞かないようにしている。今日はここまでですね。
あり
りがとう
がとうございまし
ありがとうござい
た。
ました。
じゃあまた来週。
じゃあまた来週。
来週です
はい
ね。
また
じゃあ
曜日。
はい。